Good afternoon, everybody. And I want to thank everybody for coming and enjoying this wonderful farmers market. I haven't yet had the opportunity to stroll down the aisle and see all the good stuff, but what I decided to do today is a salad that is an evolving salad. It's a very classic salad, but it's something that you can change ingredients up. You can do it in the wintertime, you can do it in the summertime, you can do it in the fall. Just change up ingredients, change up flavors. It has so much possibility. What I'm trying to showcase today is some beautiful herbs, some great vegetables, and a different style of cooking tuna that makes it very easy. And you can use parts of the tuna. The reason why we do it at the restaurant, we use the chain, the undesirable part that has a lot of sinew. We cook that nice and slow and low, and we allow that to break down and get very soft. So what we're going to start with is we got a nice beautiful piece of tuna, and we're going to basically just cover it with oil. We have a little bit of canola oil. You don't want to use an expensive oil because you're going to be imparting flavor with so many different herbs and spices. So we have the canola oil. We're just going to put enough to cover the tuna up. A little bit more. And you have it on nice and low, barely a bubble. When we do it at the restaurant, we put it on a shelf above the grill, so it doesn't even see direct heat. You can put it in a 250-degree oven and let it cook nice and slow. And you want to hit it like an internal temperature of 145, 150. It's never going to come to a boil. It's going to be nice and slow and low. But you're going to take the tuna and I'm going to do it up top here so you guys can see. You're going to season it just like you're seasoning tuna to serve. So you're going to, yeah, this is just kosher salt. You're going to put that in. Let that cover, almost covered. And then now you're going to start adding flavors. Whatever you like. That's the rule of thumb. If you like spicy, you can add jalapeno into the mix. You could, if you like it very herbaceous, you can put a ton of herbs. What we're going to put today is a little bit of red pepper flake to give it a little heat. Some bay leaf. Bay leaf for me is kind of a staple. It kind of grounds everything together. I use it in a lot of stuff. I use it in beans, used it in the confit of tomato. We have a little bit of cumin. Cumin ties it in a little bit with Mediterranean, the south of France, that area. We have some fresh shallots. If you want to change the whole concept of the salad, change where you're coming from. You can come from France, from Spain, and that changes your flavor profile. Some black peppercorns. Some coriander. And the great thing about this is you don't have to use your fresh herbs. You can use just stems. Stems have a lot of flavor. People, just throw them away. At the restaurant, we keep these. We have a little bucket in the walk-in, and nothing goes to waste. So you get some fresh parsley stems, some cilantro stems, a little bit of chervil. Chervil will bring that little licorice flavor to it, and some fresh thyme. We're just going to take a little garlic and slice a little garlic up. And the great thing about this is it's a kind of a no fuss, no muss approach. You just let it sit. But while that's cooking, we're going to make our vinaigrette. And this is a great vinaigrette for the summertime. It really showcases a lot of fresh herbs. So we're going to take and we're going to add a little bit of red wine vinegar, a little bit of balsamic vinegar. All the measurements are on the website, so I can do it a little bit by eye. One of the things that a lot of people don't do at this point in time is I add my shallots and garlic to it now. And usually if I'm at the restaurant, I let it sit for about 20 minutes. And that breaks down and enhances the flavor of the shallots and the garlic in the vinaigrette. And also the other thing I do at this point in time is I season it. Because salt does not dissolve in oil. So if you want it to get fully dispersed, you want to season your vinegar a little bit now. You can always add a little bit more, but it won't get that full diverse salt that you want. You'll have little chunks of salt, so it will attach to it, and you'll confused as salty when it's really not. So we're gonna add a little bit of garlic to this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of Dijon mustard. This will help with the emulsification. You can do this in a Cuisinart food processor as well. The reason why I do it in a blender though is it blends it more smoothly, so it looks greener, not less chunks. And then we have a little bit of honey. You want about equal parts Dijon to honey, and that's going to cut the flavor right there. So you're going to have, it's all about ratios. Just a little bit more. And this is where we're going to start taking our herbs. You just take a little scissors and just snip right in. Oops, I'm making a mess here, but you want a good amount of chives. Chives is kind of the backbone. A little bit of fresh thyme. And the real showcase of this is tarragon and basil. The tarragon is going to make it very vibrant, but tarragon is one of the most powerful herbs in my opinion. It really stands out, so you have to be careful. And a little fresh basil. And while you're picking all these herbs into it, that gives it that time for the shallots and the garlic to develop. So there's a little method to the madness. There we go. So I'm going to shut this off for now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure I have everything in there. I'm going to blend it just for a second. The one thing with a blender or any kind of thing that mixes something, it creates energy and heat. So the less you use it, the more green something stays, and the less heat you induce. You want to make sure you start on low. And this is a kind of a whatever you want. You can herbs you have in the garden, you can put in. Now we're going to start to add canola oil. You want a very neutral oil. And the vinaigrette is going to get a little thick on you, and that's when you know it's done. You're just going to taste it to see if you have the right flavor you want. Very acidic, herbaceous, a little sweet. I put a little too much honey in this one. So all you have to do is just go back and add just a touch of mustard. Vinaigrette, once you have a finished product, you can always add to it and adjust the flavor. So we're going to add just a smidge more of the mustard. Like I said, you can get this very vibrant green by just blanching the herbs. I choose not to because it kind of takes away from the flavor. Diminishes just a little bit. There, that should be perfect. So, turn this back on. It'll go nice and low. So now, while that's all cooking, I'm going to take some already finished products and I'm going to show you a finished plate. I'm going to take some of this beautiful tuna. Take a nice little chunk. And this is going to be fully cooked. There we go. This will be our finished plate. We're going to start by putting a little bit of vinaigrette on there. So much different doing it out here. I choose not to dress the greens because it allows you to scoop it up and make a complete perfect bite. So what I'll do is I'll just start with a little bit on the plate. And you can tell the consistency of the vinaigrette by how it stands on the plate. It doesn't just die and drool everywhere. We'll do a nice beautiful slice. Couple little slices. We have some beautiful green beans that have just been blanched and shocked. If you wanted to turn this into a warm salad, you can add warm components as well. So we're just going to add a little bit of green beans, some of the beautiful tomatoes, and like you see, they break down just like almost like a canned tomato. The reason why I do this, it almost takes on like a smell of pizza when I do it. Add a little bay leaf, some thyme, some rosemary, and let it cook nice and slow and low. This is beautiful tomato oil. So you can use the oil as well. You can take the oil and then turn it into a vinaigrette. There's so much possibility here. You can even dress the plate just a little bit, add a little texture to the whole dish. Here's some beautiful Nicoise olives, some garbanzo or chickpeas. Just stray these around, and oops, see, now that it's bubbling, just turn it right off, let it sit. Done. This will be fully cooked in about 20 minutes. Ideally, you don't want to get it to this point, but when I'm in the restaurant, I pay more attention. And now the last piece is hard-boiled egg. You're gonna take some nice and beautiful greens. And this is something you can have in your fridge already prepared, and you can you don't have to fuss. You can have guests over, you can be drinking wine, and you can throw a salad together just like this in no time flat. You can have everything done ahead of time. And then we have a simple Nicoise salad.